All right, everyone. Welcome to 10 Forward. I am Nobody Geek, and with me is one of my awesome co-panelists and the man who came up with the idea for tonight's show, Mr. Mir, and his awesome
Greetings and
Miranda
salutations.
class.
All right. So how are you doing tonight, Jesse?
I'm doing all right. Had a few issues, but we'll talk about this offline. I don't
Of
want to
course.
bring that crap up here. And Darth Haster, hello, hey Darth Haster, and to anybody else who comes
Yep.
in. I got the StreamYard open. We're waiting on the ambassador. I know he has to get food for his family. He's supposed to come here, but anybody wants to come in, you are free to come in. Try it out. Try us out. You might like us.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So tonight we are talking about actually something we are going way off topic when it comes to Star Trek, folks. We're going to talk Star Trek games. And this was an idea of Mr. Mears. And he, brought up a great point about the evolution of Star Trek games. And there has been so many of them. And, I sat back and had to think about it as I was watching or as I was preparing for this channel, I was like, well, what Star Trek games have I played? And, I can think of quite a few, but I am not a gamer. Gaming is not my area. So I'm going to let my resident gamer, Mr. Mir here, I'm going to let him start off the show. So,
Oh yeah, I am an old school gamer. I mean, my very first game that I ever played was Pong, but not when it was called Pong. It was basically we're playing off of an oscilloscope, and that's how Pong came to be. Um, yeah, so I've played games all my life. And of
now
course,
I just now hold on a second, Mir. I do want to clarify something. I may not be a gamer, but I can tell you the very first system I ever played a game on,
okay,
and it was called the Commodore 64. And I played my very first Star Trek game on that Commodore 64. We'll get into that later. That's very old school DOS. That's 5x7 floppy disk. And if
yep,
anybody wants to call me a liar, LOAD shift 2 star, comma 8, comma 1. I
that's
know I
it,
went a
man.
little fast there, but it's LOAD shift 2 star, comma 8, comma 1. So
So
don't think I'm not an old school gamer. Just
my
been out of the pasture.
uh, my very first Star Trek game was for the Atari 5200. Remember that system way back in the day? um,
I never had a 5200. I had a 2600.
yeah, most people did. I mean, this
I never had the 5600. I don't actually, to be honest with you, I don't even remember what the 5600 looked like. I remember the Atari 2600. I remember getting it. Uh and then like literally 6 months after I got it, Nintendo came out. And that 8-bit graphic was driving me nuts. I'm like,
well, this is going back a little further than that. I mean, you're talking my first Atari 2600. I mean, I was only 2 years old, so you're talking maybe like 1979, 1980, somewhere in that realm. Um, my mom was actually a gamer back in those days, and she liked to play. What was it? Atari Pinball, Circus Atari, Breakout, tons of other games in that, for that system. And I love that system too. So even to this day, I still have like 30 or 40 cartridges lying around here somewhere that I can always play. Um, but yeah, the 5200, it almost had like telephone cords, like the curly telephone cord that would go between like your receiver and the earpiece and microphone, or handset. That's what it's called. So they kind of had those in there, and there was like a joystick down at the bottom, and it had a
yeah, the joystick on the keyboard. I remember that.
And then then it
That
had like
little
a number
tiny
pad.
ass joystick that you could break real easy.
Yes, that would be the Atari 5200. Needless to say, we didn't have ours for very long because, there might be a rumor that like a 3 or 4-year-old was not very good with, not very gentle with electronics. You know what I mean. But anyway, we had our.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, look who it is. Oh, the man who has always been here is here. We have the ambassador.
Greetings, sir.
Evening, gentlemen.
How are you
How's
doing,
it going?
I am not super, and thank you for not asking.
Okay, done.
It has been a day and a half, guys, but I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to see y'all. I'm glad to be here talking about the games of Star Trek. So,
Ambassador, if it's any consolation, my day hasn't been the greatest either. But I tell you what, we can always talk about that offline after this. Yeah.
See, Senor Jesse.
So I'm going to go on my top 3.
So
really,
we
my
hadn't
top
really
3
got
games.
into we were kind of talking about game systems. We hadn't actually gotten to a Star Trek game yet. I made the comment about my first gaming system was actually, and I don't think I said this, but to clarify, my first gaming system was a Commodore 64, not an Atari 2600. That just said the Atari 2600 just happened to be my first game system.
Yeah, first gaming system for me was the 2600. It was actually my uncle's and everything when he was in the police academy and everything, and him and his second wife and everything were good enough one year for Christmas and everything to give it to me. So, and my first system that was like brand spanking new was a Sega Genesis that my mother and my grandmother went in on and everything together back when Layaway was such a thing and Kmart was such a thing, and got that for me for Christmas one year. So, and then of course I made the quantum leap and I got the original Xbox, and then I kind of backtracked a little bit and I got a PS1 Mini, which I was very happy with. So, and then from there, I got the piece of crap Xbox 360, and I swore off Microsoft gaming systems altogether, and I have been a Sony PlayStation person ever since.
You got the white one, didn't you?
Well, if we're gonna go into the history here, Ambassador, this is gonna sound similar, but it's actually gonna sound different. So don't interrupt me, please, and thank you. I was in a basement in West Virginia. No, this is not the same basement I've talked about when I watched Star Trek. My grandfather was one of the few people who had a computer in the neighborhood. I mean, we're talking 1980s. I'm talking Commodore 64. I'm talking 5x7s and loading games in that way. That's how old school I was. And then I got an Atari 2600. And then shortly after I got the Atari 2600, I got envious because Nintendo came out, and I saw the advertisements for all the cool games, and I was like, seeing the advertisement for Atari, and I was like, Atari sucks. I want an NES, and I was supposed to get, and actually I found out later in my life, I was supposed to get a Nintendo for my birthday in October. And because I screwed up pretty bad as a child, they actually held that until Christmas. They didn't tell me till later, but found out they held the Nintendo. But when it comes to Star Trek games, personally, I never played a Star Trek game on a computer system. I've always played them on a computer. In a DOS format, the 93 format, the Bridge Crew I tried today, the computer, the Voyager Elite, First one. I never played the second one.
Elite Force.
Yeah, Elite Force and Klingon Academy. So that is my experience in well, I guess Starfleet Academy, but that doesn't make sense. I'm trying to remember the one where I got to take a bunch of ships and try to take a bunch of Miranda class against the Dreadnought, and I can't remember the name of that.
It's Starfleet Command.
Oh, Starfleet Command. Well, there you go. See, Mir, that's why we have you here tonight, because this is your forte.
Well, yeah, I've played them all, just about.
Well, I'm telling you right now, guys, that is my experience in Star Trek games. So, again, Ambassador, glad to have you. In case you didn't know, Chef Zilla has other things he has to deal with, so he's not going to make it.
Yep.
And he apologizes, but as I told him,
it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. I told him, I was like, hey, man, I know your priorities. This is a hobby. You got more important things to do than come here and hang out with us. And we all wish him the best.
Of course.
At the same time, we miss you, you magnificent bastard. Get back soon.
Oh, yeah, we definitely miss you. Oh, hell yeah. Man.
That's from a movie, but I can't remember what movie that's from, Mir.
I got nothing. That was on a book that I was listening to a couple of days ago.
All right, so Mir, this was your idea to talk about gaming. So we've kind of all talked about a little bit of gaming features. Now, after my Nintendo Super NES, I had a very long dry spell between gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when I'm talking a long dry spell, I mean, I went from Super NES to PlayStation 4.
Gotcha.
That is how long my dry spell was.
Okay.
So you guys are going to have to lead this one.
Well, I mean, as you guys know, there's been a ton of games out there, and let's also not talk about just video games. Let's also talk about Fast Track. You know, that was one of my favorite games during the 80s. Was picking the old school 80s thing. That was also the basis for was it Prelude to Axanar?
Yeah, pretty much.
It was just that was one absolutely magnificent game where this is something that my uncle was really into, and that's where he kind of got me into that whole thing. Now, as far as actual games and like video games go, even to this day, if there is one game that's out there that truly just captures the Trekkiness, it captured the heart of Star Trek. It is the Star Trek 25th anniversary for the PC, as well as its sequel, which was called Judgment Rights. And this game came out, it was from Interplay in 1991, and it had every single one of the voices for all of the characters. You know, it was, you had DeForest Kelly as Bones, you had William Shatner, you had Leonard Nimoy, James Doohan, you had everyone was in. You know, there were actually two versions that were released. The first one was without voices, and then there was a deluxe version that was released later on that had all the voices in there. And it was just an incredible, just how it was like you were watching Star Trek episodes. It really was just like you were in the show was going on. Oh, and by the way, if I get disconnected anytime soon, just let you know it's raining like the devil out here. And there's
hey, Mir, that shit happened to me yesterday. I was trying to get on Orange Hat reviews.
Yeah.
And I was literally just brought in, and I was about to say, if I get disconnected, it's because it's raining and my power is going to go out. And literally, right before I said it, guess what happened?
And I don't know, Murphy. What happened?
My fucking power went out, and I was like, fucking A.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
I was like, literally, and Hey, unfortunately, I've got kids, and they sometimes don't know what to do with themselves
Yep.
for the first 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Well,
You got
and,
a
you
fan
know,
here, Ambassador?
Cinnabon Bunny
Yeah.
says that Judgment Rights was great. Still have the 12 floppy disk set. I do too.
right
It was
on.
12 discs, 12 3.5 discs, and not even the high density ones. It only has one square in one of the top corners of the 3.5 disc. Again, that's just, and the amount of like expertise in DOS that you had to be this incredible,
You basically had to be a Starfleet engineer.
pretty much. I mean, you're talking like a virtual memory manager. You need to, you had to have at least 4 megabytes worth of RAM, not gigabytes, 4 megs. And
Yes, folks, 4 megs was actually big back in the day.
yep. And you had to completely rearrange your configsys and autoexec.bat files in order to get these things running. It was such a pain in the dick, and I loved every goddamn minute of it.
If you don't mind, Ambassador, me just kind of saying something for a quick. If we're gonna, hello, okay, we gotta say
hello,
this,
Purple
we
Lady.
gotta give it to one
Hello,
half of the
Purple
company.
Lady.
Purple Lady, absolutely, we love you.
Hi, Purple Lady.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up.
And Darth Aster.
Purple
Hello to you
Lady,
as well.
how you doing?
Problem is, Jesse, we can only see part of your face because of the graphics on the overlay.
This is true.
That's probably a good thing.
Look, you need to like.
We'll go with the
No,
Judge. Hey,
Judge.
we'll
There you
go with
go.
little Judge Dredd here. Hey, you know what? I'm watching my camera here. We're gonna go Judge Dredd here. There you go.
Wow, that's just awesome.
Everything is awesome.
That's right.
Everything
When
is
you're
cool
part
when
of
you're
a
part of a
team.
team. Everything is awesome. Okay. Yeah, and you know, here's the thing.
So I bought a flamethrower the other day.
Okay.
I can't get a permit for a flamethrower.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
Duh.
Nah, they won't give me a flamethrower. I try to get a permit
wouldn't
for
give you a permit for a
they say I have
flamethrower,
no
you
reason
crazy
for it.
I wouldn't give you a permit for a slingshot, you crazy nutball.
Look, I was so waiting for this for the insult. I'm waiting, and I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, I like it. Ambassador, fantastic job, man. I love it.
Ambassador,
Right.
if that's the best insult you got for me, you gotta work in your A game, buddy. I'm sorry, I love you. You know I love you, Ambassador, but you gotta work in the insults, man.
Okay, you dumping, raping crap eater.
Better. There you go. Better. I gotta give it to him.
I'm not gonna trade my insults on our channel, guys, because my insults will get us in trouble.
Darth Aster's like,
it's great to talk to you. It is so great to be with you guys again. Man, I gotta be honest. Okay. I know I said I wasn't gonna do it this week, but I'm gonna be honest. You know, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, you know, she doesn't retire until Wednesday, and you know, I was like, you know, we don't get busy until then, and I was like, you know, it's like, call me crazy. Guess I missed you guys.
Yeah, you're crazy. Why? You're definitely crazy. That's all there is to it.
Mir, we're all a little crazy in our own way. And I think the proper euphemism is pain in the ass, not pain in the other privates.
Same. You know what? It goes either way, depending on.
No, because it doesn't hurt quite as much in the butt as it does in the other.
Look, I say
you should have. Oh, okay,
I reserve
guys.
my pain in the problem.
I'm going to tell you this. Go to my go to our channel. Mm-hmm. Click the PlayStation. Check Quark's Bar, and listen to the rant and the shit Darth Aster and I did.
Yeah, I heard part of it this morning.
We had a blast. I mean,
Yeah, well,
with that blush.
I threw my own little shade at that this afternoon towards the end of my stream and everything on Babylon 5 with Dega and Mountains of Elysium. And I said
Well,
thus.
you brought up a good. I'm sorry to interrupt you, and I don't mean to, Ambassador, but
Yes, you do. You do it all the time, and you don't care.
I know. I
Guilty
do
as
it.
charged. Absolutely guilty as charged. You interrupt everybody.
I'm muting myself
We're gonna
now.
bring you before a Starfleet tribunal. I'm gonna dress up as Q, and I'm gonna have that throne, and I'm gonna be just throwing all sorts of shade at you.
Nope, fuck that shit. Guilty.
Yeah, but it's more fun if I do it as Q.
There you go.
Not only do I pronounce him guilty, but I get to send him to the penalty box for all of eternity. Speaking of, okay, speaking of Q, one of my favorite Star Trek games, Star Trek Borg.
I love that game so much.
I love that game with all of my black little heart, although my black heart is not black.
So this was what, maybe 2000, right around that time frame,
give or take, yeah.
So this was during that era where
Brian Hill there. Brian Hill, welcome, sir.
Games got really, really weird, and they started incorporating full motion video.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see a lot of that with Starfleet Academy, Klingon Academy, Borg, and then there was Star Trek Klingons and Star Trek Borg in particular. If I remember the plot of this one correctly, it was where this particular lieutenant's father died at Wolf 359. John Delancey reprises his role as Q and takes him back.
Gonna play Quark?
Well, you never know. And he has him play as the guy's father during Wolf 359 to try to make the correct series of
events happen.
Yeah, so that he will actually survive. It was for the most part just an interactive movie. Yeah,
pretty much. But that's why it was fun.
Yeah, it really was.
Not to mention you had John B. Delancey as Q.
Yeah. Having him reprise his role was just epic. I mean, just
of course.
And then you would get in some of those positions where you would have almost 5 minutes worth of full motion video just to be shown that you made the wrong decision.
Yep, pretty much. And I remember one in particular where Q actually appears as Borg.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, what would actually happen if the Borg encountered a Q or RQ? And I'm thinking, yeah, he'd probably just shrink him down and just flick him across the galaxy.
Well, yeah, he'd just have fun with them.
Of course, because they can quite literally do nothing to him.
No, and
I mean, think about it. Really think about it. What would the Borg do to the Q?
Nothing.
We are the Borg. We are the Borg. And they would be like, yeah, we're the Q. We trump you. Flick, bye-bye.
And I would be under the assumption that the continuum just
have forgotten something. There's a pretty good chance that the Borg have no idea who the Q are because the Borg only assimilate. They assimilate knowledge. They don't acquire knowledge. So chances are, by all accounts, Borg have no idea who the Q are. They never even mentioned. They never even mean anything. So there's two possibilities there, in my opinion. The Borg have absolutely no idea that the Q exists, or two, they don't view the Q as a threat to them. You can take your pick. I've tried to play both those scenarios.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But
I would just say the continuum will be bored with them.
I would agree with that.
They have no creativity.
Watch
Yeah.
Star Trek Voyager. The Continuum is already bored.
I know that, but imagine what they would do with like no person, an entire race with no personality.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, yeah, let's move on here. These guys, these things are just they're too darn dull.
Like they take their mission way too seriously. Hell no,
Yeah.
not interested.
Okay, I'll say this and then we'll get back on track.
Yep.
The Q embodied the phrase by Joker. Why so serious?
Yeah.
Quite literally, that is their raison d'etre. That is their meaning. That is their credo. Why is so serious?
Well, it all changed when they could be killed.
Yeah, one could.
It all changed with the invention of the Queen.
Oh, you're talking about the Borg? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They had
I never actually played the Borg. In fact, I didn't even know there was a Star Trek Borg series until I started doing research today, guys. I was actually doing research on this. No, I mean, I have played very few Star Trek games in my life because unfortunately they haven't been available to me. And then when they probably were more available to me, I was out of the gaming world. But you know, I almost thought about changing my my avatar to the very first time I ever played a Star Trek game, which was Star Trek on a Commodore 64.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. This one would be very similar to the one.
I kind of want to point some things out here. This may have been a simple kind of text-based game in its own way, but you got to understand when you're a little kid just learning how to work your computer that everything is based on. There's no touch screen. Everything is command based.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
so you have to type in nav. You have to learn the diagram of the long range sensors, the short range sensors. And then you have to, when you figure out the diagram of where you're going, because literally the whole thing about the game is it'll tell you there are so many Klingons, so many star bases in this area.
Yep.
And you have to go figure out what the fuck they are. You have to go find them. And, you know, I eventually learned that my short range sensor would only go to 4 squares. So I eventually learned how to work my warp drive. And then I would eventually go to an area, find a Klingon. And if it was a single Klingon, what I would do is I would get right above them or right near them.
And just wreck the ever-loving crap out of them.
And shoot a 4-ton torpedo and they'd be dead. One 4-ton torpedo.
Well,
but if I had to deal with the standard, the possibility of 3, I would maximize my phasers. I would shoot, I think it was about 500-600 at each of them. And if they were close to me, 500 would be enough to kill them. I could usually get 2 of them, and then I would take the damage from the phaser from the Klingon as I moved over and then shot a torpedo down their ass.
Yeah.
And that's how I used to play Star Trek.
Well, you know, one thing that I remembered as a kid and everything, with Star Trek games and handheld gaming, they had several handheld Star Trek games, and I got one. I think it was at was it Toys R Us or was a Toy Palace? I think it was Toy Palace, or not Children's Palace rather, Children's Palace, and that thing was so much fun, but it was so dang frustrating because your shields would always, you get so far and your shields would start to go and then you finally die. You're like, son of a blasted, dirty, stinking Tribble.
Well, see,
Hey.
if we're going handheld, I think the only handheld Star Trek game I have is the Game Boy 25th anniversary game.
Mhm.
That one was a pain. Let's put it that way. It was definitely a
Oh
pain,
yeah.
but I beat it.
Well,
That's all I
well,
cared about.
the thing is, and to the chat, Sam Bun Bunny, yeah, I would agree with that. Or anything, Bridge Commander would be cool in VR.
Yeah,
It'd be a whole lot of fun. And Darren McManus, good to see you. And LGD Pixels, we are actually talking about games from the Star Trek universe, not games in, but games from, like games that were made that we actually can play here on Earth in the 21st century.
so let's see.
And by the way, LDG Pixel, your the link is in here for StreamYard. You're welcome to come in and give any input you want to. Actually, I had you in mind earlier, and actually, also you, Ambassador. Sorry, this is off topic, but this came from my wife.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, did we lose him? Did he accidentally mute himself or something?
Jesse.
So anyway, I completely agree with you, Cinnamon Bunny. I still have my Bridge Commander CD or DVD. Still hands down one of my favorite. And I am right there with you, LDG Pixels, where Stowe sucks. I absolutely 100% agree with you. I love the starships that are there.
Are you talking about Star Trek Online?
Yes. I absolutely love like the starship, like the increase in the starship design they have there. But now it is just way too. It's too MMO. You know, it's kind of removed the whole the Trekkiness has been like far and removed from the game.
Yeah.
You know, and it just kind of get that. And this sucks because I actually bought a lifetime subscription to that back in 2009 when the game first came out. I mean, I loved just how. I mean, the my avatar right now, that's from Star Trek Online. And it's a absolutely gorgeous game, but nevertheless,
it's boring as all hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and here's the thing: you would think, and I imagine a lot of people would think, Star Trek games. Seriously, how can you make a Star Trek game interesting? Well, you accentuate what can be fun about the game.
Yeah.
Space combat. Let's be honest here. One of the strongest aspects of Star Trek gaming is space combat, because you're not dealing with little bitty fighters like you are in Star Wars. Now, don't get me wrong, the fighters from Star Wars kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it: if you're a Trekkie or if you're just a fan of sci-fi, what is more fun than jumping onto the bridge and commanding a Galaxy class or a Miranda class or anything from any of the other factions in the Star Trek universe, or even a D. Daradex class Romulan Warbird?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that would kick serious ass. Not to mention, you can upgrade the thing, you can specialize it, you can customize it, you can make that thing be an absolute Borg shredder if you really want to.
And that's kind of where Bridge Commander comes into play, where you have maybe not so much on the Daedara X class unless you get some of the aftermarket mods.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I forgot what the name of the mod was, but it started off with the ship, like all the ships being destroyed from the Dominion War. I can't remember what the name of the mod was, but yeah, I mean, there you have, you have the what is it? The Defiant is in there. You have your, it turned the thing into more of a proper RPG, and it was great. My God, I would sit there and play that all day long.
Well, that's, man, can you think about taking the weaponry from like from a Dominion battle cruiser, one of those big honking son of a guns, not the little small speedy ships or anything, but from like the big honking battle cruisers that you look at, you about crap yourself because you're like, holy crap, this thing's armored to the teeth. This
The
is
big
almost
purple nightmares.
yeah. That would even make the Remans go, yeah, this is going to take a minute.
Yes.
I mean, or heck, even if you somehow or another were able to control the scimitar from Nemesis, think about how much freaking fun that commanding a ship like that would be in a video game.
Well, that's kind of where there was a bit of irritation on my end, especially regarding Star Trek Online, where they had the after the Klingon campaign that you were fighting, you started getting into the Romulan campaign, and they had the Scimitar class vessels that were in there, and then they would be like 1/10 as difficult as like what they were just depicted as being in Nemesis.
The movie?
Yeah.
God, are you kidding me?
I mean, I sit there and what was it? In a generic, what do they call it, that ship? Excelsior class. And next thing you know, boom. You could take it out in a matter of within like 30 seconds.
That's
all right.
Fun. Hey.
We got people here.
And then there were 4. LGD, good to see you.
Testing.
Hey, welcome.
Hey guys, what's going on? You lit a fire under my ass when you said, come on by if you have anything to say about Star Trek games. Oh my God,
then I apologize for your hemorrhoids. Bring it on.
Oh, yes. And I was
okay. Hold on, LGD Pixels. You are welcome to talk all you want, because just give me a second here. I want to apologize to everyone. I have a shitty ass fucking computer here right now, this laptop, and I'm an IT guy, and when I say a laptop is fucked up, it's fucked up. I need to get it replaced. I was hoping the damn thing would hold out into Christmas. It's not. So I literally, in the restart, I went and had a discussion with Madam Geek and said, okay, we got to get new fucking computers. I'm like, payday, we got to get new computers. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick. That is the most if I was on one of your guys' channels, no offense, but if I get dropped off, that's, an embarrassment I can handle. But getting knocked off of my own channel, that's fucking embarrassing. But with that being said, LDG, hey man, you got some Star Trek game stuff? Please bring it. I want to hear it.
First, I'm going to start off with STO. STO blows. It blew. I bought it when it first came out too.
Me too.
I paid the $120 for the
$159.99
so-called collector's edition that gave you a stupid Star Trek pin that wasn't even magnetic. Okay.
Nope.
What was I gonna say? The game, I was literally almost booted off of the forums when I first played that game and found out someone made a Star Trek game that was not even 360 spaceflight. That in order to turn around, you had to spiral like on a roller coaster, up and down and spiral around in a big, huge circle just to turn your damn starship around. You couldn't point your car, you could only point your ship 45 degrees up or 45 degrees down.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, the corkscrew method, if you will.
That whole, Mark 27 by 276 gone. Not even possible.
No Z minus 10,000 meters.
Yeah, exactly. No 360 turning whatsoever.
I'm no mathematician here, but that sounds like up or straight.
No, it was more like straight or curve left, curve right into some kind of weird helix.
You can
you flew around in helixes.
You can only adjust the if you're pointing the ship up or down, you can only adjust it to about 45 degrees.
Yeah. You guys remember All Good Things when the Starship Enterprise from the future made that awesome vertical attack?
Yep.
Impossible.
Yes.
Completely impossible.
Impossible to do that in STO when it first came out. Now I heard
What?
recently they fixed
Even
it,
now.
but I was the one that I was on the forums and I was blasting and I was being called a troll. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? You're calling me a troll because I am the one saying this is not Star Trek. This is some freaking template BS game that you guys just threw Star Trek filters on and what? No, this isn't Star Trek. And I literally was being removed from the forums by saying about this, by talking about this, saying they need to fix it. It's a bug. Oh, it's not a bug. It's a effing bug. Okay.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. at
Not
all.
a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
And then they had
also not
I'm gonna, since this is my
It's not
kid,
tricky.
boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Oh wait, that'll get a warning label now from cancel culture.
And
Because
Stowe
it
has
was-
no
there's only two
balls.
genders. Yes, I fucking went there, people. Fuck you.
Well, there are two genders. It says so in the Bible.
Mm,
oh, guys, you guys just want to make love to the algorithm, don't you?
that's it.
Hey,
The algorithm can.
I'm going to tell you
The
right now,
algorithm
buddy.
The algorithm can go take
LDJ,
a flying leap
I've
off
already
the Dares
lost,
Dock from Starfleet.
Go ahead,
LDJ,
buddy.
my team here
The
has already
algorithm can go
lost
try out the thing off
6
a woman.
subscribers. We don't bow to nobody. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
continue
know.
doing what we do until they cancel us. Then we'll rename ourselves and we'll come back.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Man.
Yeah, the algorithm and cancel culture can go dry hump a Klingon woman.
Oh,
But I
now,
do
you
have
see, that was actually my favorite Star Trek game. Klingon Academy. That was actually my favorite
like that
Star
one.
Trek game. I really loved it, especially with having Michael Dorn do the voice of Colonel Worf. And I don't remember the name of the character he was playing, but it was Colonel Worf's brother.
Yeah.
That much I do remember. And you had Christopher Plummer come back
Kern.
as
It's
Kern?
General Chang.
No, Kern was
General Chang
Kern was
Christopher Plummer.
Kern was Worf's brother.
Yeah.
Played by Tony Todd, who was
Yeah.
awesome in everything ever.
No, not Lieutenant Worf. I'm talking about his grandfather, Colonel Worf, who defended Kirk and
Yeah,
who
and
was
McCoy. Yeah, I remember.
Kirk
Yeah,
and
in Undiscovered
McCoy.
Country.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
an undiscovered country, and then Michael Dorn was playing literally, if you want to go off, because we never saw him physically. If you want to go off the voice, you would assume it would have been his twin brother, and he does point out in the storyline he is not Colonel Worf, the attaché for the High Council. He is an instructor. So, he makes a point already, and they're saying this. So, at best, we could assume he's a twin brother. I can't remember the name of the character he was portraying in that game. But Christopher Plummer, yes, he played, General Chang again. And one of the best, beautiful storylines. I mean, that thing was so much fun to play as a Klingon, because if my avatar doesn't tell you, when it comes to Star Trek, Klingons, I have a very deep respect for it, because my biggest understanding comes from TNG and beyond. And there's a very deep sense and respect. Now, would I want to be one? No. But
I would.
I have deep respect for their culture and everything. So when we got to the end of the game, and not even the end of the game, where it's sitting there and we're playing, and remember this, I'm playing a game. I want to make some context here. This game came out before you had, what was it, IGN to give you all the walkthroughs and everything. You had to walk through a game yourself back in this day, folks. I think we need to allow people to understand this. Back when we were playing games like this, we had to walk through them ourselves. There was no what's the right answer, what's the wrong answer. You had to play, and this was a game that was scenario based. Your choices played out the story, and it was a very new concept at the time. And for me, it was a very unique concept, and actually something I, enjoyed. I loved it. It is literally my favorite Star Trek game. And we can sit back and say sad tales of the death of kings.
Well, okay, and this one is also not to be confused with the game that was called Star Trek Klingon, which was a 1996 game. I think it was from Simon and Schuster Interactive. Very similar to the Star Trek Borg one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a full motion video. Didn't it have Lursa and B'Etor in it?
I think it did. Yeah. Gowron. Yeah, it did. It had Gowron as well.
Yes, as well. So definitely not the same one.
Can we just say the guy who played Gowron is awesome in everything ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, he has crazy eyes. He's got the crazy eyes.
And yes. Oh, did we all agree yes on the ambassador's question?
Yeah, you did. I said, can we all agree that the guy who played Gowron is awesome in everything ever?
Yes, yeah, he was very good. Yeah. Very good. Absolutely.
He's got the crazy eyes.
Real quick, I don't know if you guys played this one, but it was actually pretty interesting when it first came out. It was like an RTS, Star Trek New Worlds.
I still have it.
Oh, dude, that was so fun when it came out, man. Oh my god, I was like, "What the heck? A Star Trek ground game that had nothing to do with Starship?"
And it's one of the very few games out there that are set in the motion picture era.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This one and Starfleet Command 1 and 2 are also set in the motion picture era. There's really not that many at all. But yeah, New Worlds was quite the little RTS.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. That was back when Frozen Throne was out. So it was in competition with that. It was Star Trek based, and if you had the video card, it supported 3D.
It did. It was one of the first.
You could play 3D. You could play 3D with it. Hell yeah, man! Did enjoy that. Another good one was Bridge Commander. You basically guys mentioned that one. I did love that one. Elite Force was okay for Voyager. Sorry, guys, I got to make this real quick because I do have a pixel I got to take care of. So I just want to say a couple things. Bridge Commander was fun. And the one I had for PC was, I would give it like a 6.5, maybe a 7, was Star Trek Legacy. And I still have that one.
I still have that one as well. That was from Bethesda.
And you could go inside. You can go inside, outside, like third party from the ship or inside, and you were fighting battles and warp drive and the whole 9 yards. But I really did.
It's the one game that has every single captain involved.
Mm-hmm.
Including Cisco. Because Cisco didn't do shit for video games afterwards. I mean, you could find Patrick Stewart in just about anything. But he was in Elite Force 2. He was in Armada 1 and 2. I don't know if you guys ever played Armada or not, but that was pretty much my go-to RTS for Next Generation. That was like,
all right. I hate to cut in here real quick, but I gotta say this. And if I say the name wrong, please call me out on it horribly. But I've got to call this person out here. Sovis Borg has been around for a very, very long time.
Yes, indeed.
Has been in many of our chats and has made many comments and has been posted many times. But I was just realizing I don't think we've ever given this person a shout out. So I decided, we need to give them a shout out because this person has been with us for a long time.
He's been around longer than I have.
All right.
He's He's been
I'm
here
gonna-
longer than I have.
I'm going to ask a question for Sovsborg. I don't know. That's kind of how I'm pronouncing it.
I think we pronounce it Sovus.
Okay.
Sovusborg.
My apologies. If I remember correctly, your number 2, Star Trek Hidden Evil, had Patrick Stewart as Picard, and it was starred a human that was able to do the Vulcan nerve pinch. See, I can't remember if that's the one or not, but if it is, I still have it. I still have my disc downstairs. And yes, Darth Haster still sucks. That's all I'm saying. It's just the worst. That opportunity to have, there was Cryptic Studios had taken it over from one of the other people that were coming along for that one, and yeah, they just took it in a direction that was just awful.
I can't believe that was 2010.
Hey, there's only, and I know I don't normally do this, but there's only one thing worse than a human trying to do a Vulcan neck pinch. You know what that is?
An android doing a my mind to your mind.
Yes! Holy shit! Yes! Woo!
Yeah, a machine doing a yeah.
Yeah, for the simple fact that
I'm you know what, LDG?
Yeah.
You've officially won the internet.
Where's the ding ding ding? Do I get a prize? What's behind door number 1?
you get a gold star and a clean off. Okay, I'm gonna make a.
Hey, LDG, I'm not shitting you for that. You DM me. I got an Eagle Moss Delta Flyer with totally unwrapped. I'll mail it to you in a heartbeat, buddy.
Serious? Wow, man. Awesome.
No. No. I am dead serious. I have it. I will. You want proof? I'll shoot you the picture. I got it. It's still in the wrapping. I made a mistake of reordering something. It's
you
not
made
the
a
first time
mistake.
I've done it.
Inconceivable.
You keep saying that would. I don't think you mean it. But no. Hey, no, man. I've been looking for a reason to get that thing out. And LG, I'm going to tell you right now, you want it, you DM me, I'm going to mail that thing to you. No shipping and handling required, man. I'll send it to you. I promise. I'll send you a tracking number and everything, man. That
I didn't
was
know.
just awesome.
We'll leave the handling.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
leave the handling to Larissa and Bator.
Well, that's the only thing worse than a human doing a Vulcan net pinch, man. It's
Just be
fucking...
just be careful.
Yeah.
Women fight.
That's funny. I can't believe that was it.
Guys, I know I went off track on the game there, but I got to be honest. That
you didn't go off track. You just did a warp 10 into a black hole, dude.
And for those of you in the chat, I honestly just that he asked the question, and that's the one thing I could think of. I'm like, yeah, that really pissed me off. An android doing the my mind, your mind.
Okay. And I want to make it very clear. In anybody in chat, that was not staged. I just said that. No, not even close. I just said it as a look, man. Hey, I just said it as a comment. I honestly didn't know if anybody was going to catch where I was going. I was going to actually respond with exactly what LDG said. But the thing is, the moment I said it, and LDG did not miss a beat, didn't even take enough time to just went straight for it. Guys, that was, I'm going to tell you right now, that was totally unscripted. We had nothing to do with that. LDG, that was awesome.
Obviously, because he wasn't here when we started. He just popped on for as a rando, and
Yeah,
that's
I'm,
okay.
I'm going to add some additional confirmation to this. I mean, we've been doing these podcasts for however long,
It's
8, 9
not
weeks.
a podcast; it's a live stream. It has video.
Whatever.
No, not
I've
whatever.
never heard Jesse go full Michael Jackson until today. So there you go.
That could be taken in a number of ways, Mir. You might want to retract that comment.
Nope. not even going to touch it now.
If I'm gonna get compared to somebody, I'll take Michael Jackson. If it has to do with my voice, trust me, I'll take it because I could go. But you trust me, I could think of a lot worse people my voice could be compared to.
Yeah, oh man, I love Star Trek, dude. It's the reason why I'm not dead right now. The reason why you guys even know me right now. So I mean, if it has nothing to do with TOS, now I do got to binge watch TOS. But if it's anything else Star Trek related, you damned well know I know my Jack. I love Star Trek. I love it so much that just to even to hate it, I have to stand up and say something needs to change because Picard and Star Trek Discovery, absolute waste of my time.
Okay, hey, hold on, LDB, hold on a second. I'm gonna get something here real quick. I'm gonna plug something here. If you guys haven't seen, I have I was on Sunday with Darth Haster, and we had a great time poking at cancel culture. Okay, well, I put that under the playlist of Quark's Bar. And as you guys know, I've changed in the name to from Let's Talk Star Trek to NB Geeks Let's Talk. And if you guys have anybody, whether you're in the chat or whether you're in the panel, you guys got ideas that you want to bring here for pop culture references, please do it. DM me. We'll talk. We'll see what we can put together. I want to expand this community. Not my. And I want to make something very clear. I've lost subscribers this week. And I know other people.
Don't feel bad.
It
could have been YouTube.
You haven't, Jesse. It isn't anything that we have necessarily done. I don't think you lost any subscribers because of your stream yesterday. Everybody has lost them. I mentioned it this morning on Loki's stream and everything.
Yep.
YouTube is being a bunch of whiny millennial children who need a severe spanking.
Yep. Talked about it on my stream the other day too about the magical disappearing the subscriptions. And I had two disappear and they came right back.
My channel real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that. Don't mean to sound like a dick, but before I got cut off there, I was saying I went from our channel here went from 195 to 189. I was like, and then when I got up this morning and I was listening to Loki and I saw Loki talked about it and the ambassador, which is where I was going, you talked about it and I saw your tweet and everything. I was like, well, yeah, we lost some. So, he brought it up and that's where I was going. It was, I can understand one or two, now and again, but when you lose 6 in a day, you start checking the hour. And then when you show up and you're listening to someone like Loki and you're like, wait a minute, you're hearing people in the chat, Ambassador lost subscribers. LDG, I think even I heard you lost subscribers.
Yeah, I lost 2.
Yeah, exactly. You lost 2. I lost 5 or 6.
Purple Lace says
Loki, I know, said he was battling it. So anyway, Ambassador,
DJ.
I wasn't trying to, I wanted to make sure there was I wanted to try to quell this here is like I knew once we all got, kind of all, from, over the weekend, we all kind of figured out, YouTube's going back to the same, well, for lack of a term, bullshit and trying to cancel us.
Yeah. And just a quick shout out to the chat, Epic Beard. It's good to see you, sir. And hey, we are all geeks here.
That's right.
Even if we have a epic beard, nerds and geeks can have epic beards too. Look at Jesse's; he has an epic beard. Tell me that's not a. Now, I personally, if I was going to grow a beard, I'd grow like a Riker-esque beard. I wouldn't grow a beard like that, but that's me.
No. You see, there's a reason why I like my beard
Or I'd
like
grow
that.
a Kenobi. Or I'd grow a Kenobi beard.
You know what? I'm gonna go single here real quick just for fun. Let me explain something to you. I've always wanted to do the Obi-Wan thing, and now
Well,
I
yes, you can.
I can do this. Tell me that ain't awesome. Yeah.
But the thing is, Jesse, if you're going to do a true Obi-Wan, you've got to trim that sucker back some because Obi-Wan's wasn't that scraggly.
What? Did you not see Attack of the Clones?
Obi-Wan's.
Oh, we have way gone. Okay, guys,
scraggly.
we have way gone off topic. And Ambassador, you are not keeping us on track, buddy.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
excuse me, I didn't realize. Last time I checked, you were the moderator for this channel. I'm just a guest. A regular
No,
guest.
last time I checked,
yeah.
you were my thumb. No, last time I checked, you were the guy who was creating the kick-ass thumbnails, and you were the guy who was my right-hand man to make sure things were working when I was screwing shit up. And
but
even
sometimes-
when we, and I have listened to plenty of our chats. You're the one who's always gotten us back on track.
Okay, you want to get us back? You want me to get us back on track? Okay, fine. I can get us back on track. Let's see. Why don't we go around the bend here and let's do it? Let's do our top 5 of Star Trek games.
Ooh, top 5. Huh. 25th anniversary. Judgment Rights. Bridge Commander. Armada 1. And the mod for Armada 3.
Okay.
LDG, what's your top?
Top 5. I'll have to work backwards here. It would have to be Bridge Commander. Do sequels count, or
Sure.
is it just kind of as a
Yeah.
whole?
Yeah, sequels count.
Absolutely. Sequels always count.
Okay, so then I would have to go with, let's see here, Bridge Commander, Legacy. Did like Legacy. 25th anniversary. I did like the Borg.
Yeah.
And I had to. I mean, just the way it came out, it got sold really nicely, even though it was a bit movie based. I did enjoy it. And then I have to go with I'll have to go with the whatchamacallit. Crap, I keep forgetting the name. Why do I keep forgetting the name? New Worlds. I have to do New Worlds. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Now, side note, real quick. Did anyone play the board game with Gowron?
Yes.
That I thought that was awesome.
I can't say that I have, honestly.
But that wasn't a PC game; it was a board game. But I just wanted to honorable mention that was a fun game.
Shoot, speaking of honorable mentions, Star Trek: A Final Unity. This was 1994. It was a PC game for Next Generation. It was right on that cusp between between DOS 6.2 and Windows 95.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of those games that was specifically for DOS. Another one that you had to go through the virtual memory manager.
Yeah.
It was brought to you by Spectrum Holobyte, and it was Next Generation. Everybody who was in Next Gen is in that. You know, they supplied all the voices. So easily one of my favorites. Yeah,
well,
Data, Forge,
I don't know. I don't have a top 5, so let me just talk about, because as I told you, most of you guys offline, and anybody in the chat does know, I had about a 20-year gap, or 15 or whatever. I've never taken the time to figure it out between gaming systems. Just had other things. But I do know the first Star Trek game I ever played, so it's going to be number one, was that Commodore 64 game where I had to go figure out where the star bases were to refuel, re-get my shields charged, my torpedoes redone, and my phasers, and go kick ass at Klingons, and then either decide if I'm going to sacrifice shield strength for phaser strength so I can shoot Klingons.
I think it was
and
just
not-
called Trek 64.
Hey, you know what? Trek 64 sounds good. But you know what? Here's the thing. You know, I was getting there. There is actually, that game has been redone on applications.
Yes.
And I think, and you know, I played it a few times. I don't currently have a tablet that has it, but man, they updated it and made it a lot more fun, and still made it honorable to what the old school was. And I really thought that was awesome. The second game, and probably the only other game I'm gonna mention, is the Klingon Academy.
Yeah, it was
I
fantastic.
loved that game. I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the cinematography. I loved to command a Klingon bird of prey, warbird, everything. I love the story arc. I love the mini movie. I love Christopher Plummer came back to play General Train, which I'm going to say, I know this is an unpopular opinion. Star Trek 6, my favorite. Kirk
Okay.
versus Chang, in my opinion, was better than Kirk versus Khan. I
Yeah,
don't care what anybody has to say.
How is
That's
that
the
a popular
end for me.
opinion?
it was more poetic.
To
How
be
is that
or not to be.
That's not an unpopular opinion. That's a widely held opinion. Star Trek 6 is a great movie.
Mhm.
And might
Yeah,
I
someone always has
address?
But those were the two biggest Star Trek movies that are Star Trek games that were the influence that I remember. The only other one, well, sorry, there were two other ones. One was another computer program game, and I can't remember the name of it, but basically it was you. It was Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and a red shirt.
That sounds like 25th anniversary.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think
That's
you are.
the one.
Yep.
And if the red shirt died, everything was fine. If anybody else died, if
Yeah.
Spock, Kirk, and McCoy died, if Spock, Kirk, or McCoy died, you were done. But the red shirt, that guy could die.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's
that's what
25th
red shirts-
anniversary.
Hilarious.
That's what red shirts
I
are
mean,
good
that
for.
was
That's why we have Mir here.
That's right, camp fodder.
Mir's the red shirt.
I am literally wearing a red shirt tonight. Thank you.
So long as Mir is like injured or maimed, the rest of us can get away from the big scary lava monster.
Yeah.
And
Hey guys,
it's like, go ahead.
I'm sorry,
LG.
guys. I do have to hit up V Star and take care of her. So I do got to bounce out, guys. But
All
thank you
right.
for having me real quick and said my piece about
Yeah.
STO and
Yeah,
how much
glad
I
you're here,
can
LG.
fuck.
Yeah,
anytime,
absolutely.
guys.
LBJ, you are always welcome back, buddy. Thank you for coming in. Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it, guys.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
guys.
It's been
Yeah.
a blast.
Peace and long
Take it
life,
easy.
my friend.
You too.
Live long and prosper.
So I would be a little bit remiss in this in talking about Star Trek games if we did not address the fact that for every really good Star Trek game that had come out, there have been Star Trek games that have outright sucked.
Well, yeah, because unfortunately, for every good episode of Star Trek there have been equally bad Star Trek episodes.
Absolutely.
Because let's all be perfectly candid here. some episodes of Star Trek, even from the series that we love, they've just plain sucked.
Yeah. So there were Star Trek Next Generation games that had come out for Sega Genesis and for Super Nintendo. Those weren't bad, but they were more or less like top-down shooters.
Mhm.
I have
Even-
never played a TNG or DS9 video game ever. It's only been in the TOS or the VOY era.
Okay, so on that regard, there is a PC DS9 game that is actually half decent. And then there was also a DS9 thing that was a game that was for it's either Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. I'm not sure which one. I just remember it was 16-bit era. It was not very good, to say the least.
Yeah.
And also Star Trek Online has also decided to integrate content from Discovery, and you have the option whether to address it or not. But they brought in the girl that plays Tilly. She is
Who?
part of the redhead
Who?
with the curly hair. Yeah, that one.
Who?
Exactly.
I think the ambassador has had enough sense not to actually watch any Star Trek.
Hey,
No, because I refuse to play for.
selective
Or he
amnesia is a
just
great
tried to
power.
block it from or he got a Vulcan mind wipe. Take
No,
it.
it's more like I refuse to pay for CBS All Access. Ergo,
I won't
I have not. I wouldn't touch.
What makes you think anybody pays for it? Not that we on this channel condone pirating or
I have
any
no idea what you're talking about, man.
activity.
I know nothing.
I got
The only streaming service that we currently pay for, because we recently canceled our Disney Plus subscription, was because we got HBO Max, and that is the only one we pay for, and we are very happy.
Great. I expect a
BritBox here.
review on the Justice League extended cut Snyder review.
Oh, please.
Oh, the Snyder Cut. That's coming out next year.
Oh, give it a rest, man. Hey, I don't really give two craps about that, Mir. I figure if he has it, I'd like to hear somebody's review. And if anybody's going to give a neutral, unbiased, fair review, I would say the ambassador is that guy.
Here's the thing, though. I liked Justice League. My problem is that it's being advertised in such a way that my gut instinct says be careful what you ask for, because you're going to wind up getting it. And so,
go ahead.
Yeah, me too. Yes, Darth Haskell.
Yeah.
I completely agree with this sentiment.
Yeah, there are certain times that look, I'm gonna be honest. I know we're trailing off here, but what the hell? We seem to be doing good. Look, and I'm gonna throw this one to the Quarks bar and not Tin Ford after this on the playlist, but
okay.
Oh my god, I'm so disgusted with what Star Trek's become. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm with Darth Haster. I would love, if you could say, hey, I will Vulcan mind wipe your ass, and you will never remember Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard again. I'd be like, okay, where do I sign the check? I mean, I don't hate Star Wars as much as I hate those.
Don't get me started.
You know what? This right here,
I agree with that.
This is what I started this about. This right here is what I started the show about. And this is where we're gonna at least try to stay. But you know what? we are doing actually really well, and I think we should expand. What do you guys
agree.
think?
I agree
agree.
with this. Just in regards to what we're talking about in this one, the series that shall not be named.
Discovery.
Who?
Discovery.
Who?
Picard.
Who?
No.
Yeah, you know what? Here,
Yeah,
wait.
Epic Beard. I'm a nerd, and I am nerd, and I am proud. I am
Yeah,
nerd.
I don't-
Hear me. I am nerd. Hear me, geek.
Hi, I'm Patrick Stewart. I'm a very talented actor, and I have an iconic character, actually several. And I'm gonna sit here for 10 episodes and let people beat the shit out of me and elder abuse.
Well, that's it. Call it by its real name, man. Star Trek Alimony.
No. Better. Star Trek Elder Abuse.
Yeah.
Thing is, he's doing
Damn
it for the paycheck, so that's it. He's got to pay off his little 4 ex-wives, so I can't blame the guy. Cannot blame the guy.
Picard only has one
no,
ex-wife,
gonna
and
have
he could probably send her to Rua Penthe or something.
Not surprised there. But really, it's my issue.
I'm not sure this is going to make it to 10 forward. I think this is going to have to go to Quarksmar.
It's understandable, but since we're editing, cut the game off at some point, like right where LDG left, and then we'll put this in Quarksmar. I think we're as far as this goes, the sci-fi, it's pretty. It's pretty, and it actually isn't half bad until you take it in the context of everything that has come before, and then it pisses me off to no end.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm a little lost on where, and know I'm the owner of the show, but at this point, where are we going right now? Do we just kind of want to wing it? Because I think we have way gone beyond games.
Drink your prune juice.
Oh, I was actually always I had mad respect for Worf for drinking prune juice, because actually I tried it because he had it, and I actually can't stand prune juice.
But it's a warrior's drink.
Yes, because it keeps you regular.
That's right.
I don't know if it would keep. I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't know if it would keep a Klingon regular.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm
No.
sorry. Just to point something out there.
No.
I am a warrior. I have an EGA to prove it. So just want to make sure.
Sure.
All I'm saying is that prune juice is going to give you a whole reach, man.
I got enough here on my chest. Thank you very much.
Oh, whole breach. That's good. Well, I never got to weigh in on my top 5, but I don't honestly. I have a top 3 when it comes to Star Trek games.
Go for it.
Well, I unfortunately don't have a top 5. I just have a top 3 because there's only been like 3 Star Trek games that I really played all the way through that I really enjoyed. And I know they're going to sound cliche as all hell, but what the hell? I am sometimes cliche. I am the ambassador. I am the ambassador of the cliche. All the lesser cliches shall bow before me. Anyway, going from 3 to 1. Number 3 would be Star Trek Klingon Academy. Mm-hmm. Number 2 would be Star Trek Klingon, and number 1 would be Star Trek Borg.
There you go.
So
3 absolutely epic stories.
Yeah, because I only believe in playing good games and watching good movies. I don't watch crap, unlike some people.
Yeah, Jesse.
Well,
looking at you, Mir. I'm looking at you, even though I'm not. You can't actually see that I'm looking at you.
No, you're looking right at Jesse. Actually.
Hey! No fighting among us. I'm gonna sick dart. Hey, guys, wants a sick dart Haster on you.
Darth Haster doesn't scare me, even with his even with his creepy plague doctor mask.
Oh no. Him and me, we're tight now, buddy.
All
Don't
I'm
make
saying,
me don't make me sit there to scare you.
there's only one person I truly fear in my life, and she's downstairs.
Yeah, Epic
You're
Beard.
goddamn right, Epic Beard, and proud.
I
Damn
already
right.
said that. Mir, I already said that, so quit copying me. Get your own catchphrase.
Hey, you know what?
Your catchphrase. Swiper.
Near with birds, man. Nears with beards. We got beards, man. You know what?
I don't have a
We're not all pocket protectors anymore.
Yeah, we're not Robert Carradine and Anthony Edwards.
Exactly.
We're nerds that'll mess you up.
I don't know if I could mess someone up, but I'm 230 pounds. I probably could sit on the person.
That's not that heavy.
Well, considering these beta males nowadays, they look like they're $120, $150. I could easily take them down.
Yeah, because they all they drink is soy.
Pretty much. Now,
And unlike the wolf man, they have no nards.
now, me on the other hand, I am a giant.
No. Whoa, no.
Wolfman's got nerds.
No. You did not just do a Monster Squad.
Hell yeah, man.
Yes, I
You
did.
a Monster Squad reference.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, damn right you did. And I bet you didn't know you didn't know I'd know it.
Actually, yes, I did.
Look, anybody who had HBO around circa 1991 watched the Monster Squad, okay? It was on 6,000 times.
Especially
was-
during October.
There you go.
Virginia when I saw it. Trust me. We can
From
talk
September
online about what the lack of technology y'all had versus what I had. Trust me, I was in the technological marvel compared to most people.
Well,
And my grandfather had a computer, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I can't remember. My dad was a mainframe operator for a telecom company at that point.
All right.
we had
One up me. All right, Ambassador, what you got to one up us?
I was just going to say we had computers when I was in elementary school. That was the 1980s.
That's hot shit, man.
Ambassador,
Well,
you got- Ambassador,
Going back to my
unless I'm okay, I'm gonna stretch out on a limb here because I've seen all of us. I'm gonna
Just make
assume all within the similar age bracket.
yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I'm like 240 years older than both of you.
You are not Methuselah.
No, that's a reference to another favorite show of mine from the 90s, which you obviously don't get because you have no geek card.
Did he just try to pull my geek? Okay. Okay. Wait. Whoa. Wait. Okay.
I can't believe people are watching this shit.
No. I yield. What did I miss?
I don't
Look,
know.
I
What
got
did you
nothing.
miss? I don't know. What did you miss?
I thought you tried to call me out there. I thought you were making a reference that I didn't know anything about, so I was trying to ask you what the reference was because I was actually completely out of it.
And that's different from any other time. How?
Oh shit.
I was referencing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Jesse, in the episode
Okay.
because Angel is actually 242 years old.
Oh, okay. Man,
And you
Well,
call yourself a king.
hey.
Well,
In my defense,
Hey, is it for a horse? Do I look like a horse to you? I mean, you look like the particular part of a horse, but I won't say what.
well, you look like a guy who has to put. Well, your avatar looks like a guy who has to put lipstick on, so to stand out. So don't go talk to me, buddy.
Don't poke me, Jesse.
Don't. No. No, you don't get to do it. No. I love you, man. You know that, right?
No, not at all.
so I think the Miranda is the best ship of the fleet.
The Miranda sucks balls.
Excelsior!
The
Okay,
Excelsior sucks too. The best ship of the fleet is either the Sovereign, the Defiant, or the Prometheus class.
Not in terms of numbers.
All right, we have so got off subject, and if I had any possibility of editing this, I would so do it, but I don't
think
have
we
any
should.
software. Which is
Why
something-
edit it? This is gold, dude. Do you realize this is what Loki does every day? He just gets online and BS's, and that's why it's fun. Dude, think about it.
Okay,
The man-
okay, Ambassador. Two things. One, yes, I am absolutely having fun. I was making a joke.
Get better
that
jokes.
said, no, please. Seriously, I have a very serious issue here. Please
Okay.
I don't mean to sound like a dick, but seriously, please don't call me dude. I have a very big issue with that word.
Okay.
And
Alright.
I don't mean to bring it up here online.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
anybody has an issue with this, let me tell you something. No. I'm simply letting him know. And you know what? I know
Okay.
this man. He's gonna respect my wishes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bud?
I
Is this the problem with the Big Lebowski?
and you know what? When I review this and I came off on that the wrong way, I apologize.
No, Jess, dude. Sorry. Jess, my buddy, my friend, my compadre, my amigo. We are the three amigos.
And amigos forever will be.
Jesse, my amigo. I
Okay,
completely
right,
understand.
Okay, you know what? Now you guys have just determined what I'm gonna do. We have got to do now. Hey guys, we gotta pick a time, a place,
Hey, Oracle
and
Nation. Hey, PJ.
for a Three Amigos watch
Those
party.
watch party.
Yeah,
Yes.
Three Amigos, man. Come on, it is a great comedy.
We need
Well,
to work
of
on our
course.
diplomacy skills.
Yes.
Of course. You just can't. We can't do it next month because Loki's got his watch party. I'm assuming, and I've got one. So
Yep, the Orville Nation.
Orville Nation, absolutely love you, man. Hey, thanks for coming in.
yeah, Orville PJ always a good. This guy, Orville PJ was one of the first people I met on YouTube when I got started, and he has been such an awesome friend. He has been such a good guy. And PJ, it's going to be a couple more days, but I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'm going to order a copy of season 1 of The Orville so I can watch this Mother and Gift to Speed, so I can actually come on your channel and actually talk Orville with you all, because I really want to. I feel like I'm the nerd left out. Because y'all are talking.
No. Hey, look, you're not the Lord. Okay, we've gone way off topic, but you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna have fun. We got 7 people watching. We got people talking. You know what? Let's just keep going with it. Let's have fun. Hey, Orville is, to most of us,
Better Trek than Modern Trek.
Star Trek. Now, I don't want you to feel pressured to enjoy the show. I want you to watch it and make your own decision for yourself. And
Jesse, the thing is,
swear to
I'm pretty.
God, no, I'm throwing a gauntlet down here. I'm throwing a
Well,
gauntlet down here.
I'm gonna pick up the gauntlet and throw it back at you.
Like it, and you go after the ambassador. You're going through me.
Oh, Jesse, I can fight my own battles, but I appreciate the backup. But here's the thing. I'm sure I will enjoy the Orville. Why? Because I'm a lover of sci-fi. So I'm not worried about whether I'm going to dislike it or not. I'm almost certain that I am going to like it. So the only reason I was saying that to PJ is because I want to watch the Orville. I have season 2. I haven't been able to find a copy of season 1, so I'm just gonna order it off of Amazon and be done with it. That's all I was saying and everything, because I do feel left out and everything of that conversation because I don't know the lore. I don't know the world. I don't know the characters, and it's something I want to participate in. Why? Because, one, I am an OG original gangster geek. And yes, I just did a somewhat
Oxymoron? Yes.
ethnic tone. And PJ.
I'm gonna say this right now. Orville Nation, you damn right.
I try to be.
Absolutely.
Right. This man is a
I try to
class.
be.
I
I try
have.
to be.
I
Unless you make
have.
me mad. Unless you make me mad, and then I.
I want to point out this gentleman, the ambassador, has been a part of my channel for since the inception.
Well, yeah.
He's been instrumental in helping me.
Here we go again.
Mentor. And you know what?
I'm nobody's mentor.
Friend.
Friend, yes. Mentor, no. I'm nobody's mentor. Because
well, yeah. There you go. Just said it.
what?
You're right. You're nobody's mentor.
Oh, for crying out loud.
What in the actual ass?
Yeah, where did you... Guys, I am like some channels. I don't take like praise and stuff particularly well. I'm not offended by it, but I'm just not... I don't see myself as a mentor. I just see myself as somebody who knows things and does things and has perspective on things that I'm not afraid to voice. Kind of like what I did last Wednesday with that little half-wit Sean King saying, Jesus was white. We have to take everything down about white Jesus. I'm thinking, you half-wit. Even to call him a retard would be an insult to retards. To people with actual mental issues.
Well,
Sean King is one of the most useless human beings in the history of human beings.
Well, for anybody who's in the chat and anybody in the panel who wants to know, I actually reached out to the ambassador and I want to talk to him about our religion. And he said he wanted to talk about it, our religion through pop culture. And he had one request. I refrained from cussing. I agreed.
Well, this is something I've been working on for the last couple of months because I did one back, I think it was in like March or April with Kathia Starr, and it had a really good response. And I've put together a panel, and Jesse's going to be on that panel. And on July 25th, which is a month away, but I've planned out my next 3 major streams for July and everything. And July 25th, 7:30 on my channel. I've got a panel put together and everything. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Jesse. It's going to be actually a friend of mine also from university, from when I was in college. And it's going to also be Speaker for the Dead and Mountains of Elysium. And we're going to talk about how Christians interact and interpret pop culture. Because I'm trying to dispel this cliche or this myth that all Christians do is sit around and read their Bible and go to church. Guess what? No, we don't. Yes, we do, but that's not the only thing we do, because we do like pop culture. We do like nerdy things. I mean, if you really want to think about it, if you want to put this in a very cerebral context, Christians were the first geeks because we geeked out about Jesus, because he had a message that.
Oh crap! That mic drop. Ambassador gets a mic drop on this channel tonight, and since it's my channel, I get to say that.
Anyway, but yeah, we're going to discuss how people of faith, specifically Christians, because everybody that's going to be on the panel is a Christian of one denomination or another, and we're going to have that discussion. Now, the other two streams I'm going to be doing next month, because I'm not doing anything this coming weekend because it's the 4th of July. And I'll say the same thing that I said this afternoon on my stream. In the immortal words of Apu Nahasapia Pedlan, we'll celebrate the liberation of the independence of your country by blowing up a giant chunk of it. So me and Mam Ambassador and hopefully Mama Ambassador are all going to go out, and we're going to have some fun on 4th of July. Maybe not shoot off any fireworks or anything, but just have fun. But then the other two streams are going to be a little more geek related, not quite as heavy per se, but I'm hoping for a good conversation on the 25th. On the 11th, I'm actually going to be, I'm trying to remember, what is on the 11th? Thunderation. Let's see. Jesus on 25th. The 17th is actually, okay. The 11th is actually going to be a stream with me and another channel. Some of you may have heard of them. Poindexter Lounge with Enosh Fett. And we're going to be talking about two great pieces of pop culture from the 80s, and that is G.I. Joe and Transformers. We're going to be talking about the toys. We're going to be talking about the cartoons. We're going to be talking about the comics. Why? Because you cannot talk about the 80s without talking about these two major pieces of pop culture from the 1980s. And then on the 17th, I'm doing something a little different. I did a poll for this not too long ago, and this may be actually a series of streams, but I may be doing them once a month or so. And we're going to talk about the movies that we know are bad, yet we love anyway. Actually, that's a really good title for the stream. We're going to be talking about the guilty pleasures, movies that we know are bad, but we love anyway. And I lost Jesse. Now it's just me and Mir, and now it's incredibly awkward. But
I'm done with
that. Oh, you're down with it being awkward? Okay, great.
Yeah, it's my normal state.
The last thing I'll plug for my channel is next month I'm going to be hosting another watch party. Hopefully this one won't get taken down. But yeah, next month we're going to jump.
Your last watch party got taken down?
Yeah, I had to go in and edit it and everything because
because of me. Oh, that's right, because of me.
And it was because of all of us, Jesse. It wasn't just you.
Nah, but just blame me. Just hashtag blame me.
Stifle. I'm not going to just blame you. We all made comments that night, so cut it out.
Yeah, but how do comments on a movie get a copyright strike?
It wasn't a copyright strike. It was because of a comment we made about that mess up in Seattle. And that's all I'll say, because I don't want this stream to get taken down.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll talk about that shit offline.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay,
but the last thing I'm going to bring up and everything is next month. We're going to jump in our DeLoreans, and we're going to go back to the 1980s, and we're going to do a watch party for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and that's going to be on a Friday night.
Oh hell! Oh my god! I haven't seen that movie in forever, and to do it on a watch party, fuck. You know what? I'll mute my mic. I won't even be able. I'll just listen and watch.
I heard
Uh,
that you were feeling ill.
Bueller.
that-
Oh
that'll be
Oh my
that's actually
Man,
means I've got. Can I get a word in edgewise, Jesse? Just real quick. I promise. As soon as I finish this, you can go. You can say all you want.
well,
Please,
the
thank
ambassador, I thought you had control, man. You were doing good.
I do. Now, Stifle.
Right? I'll shut up.
Thank you. The Ferris Bueller watch party will be on a Friday night next month because all my Saturdays are already planned out. As soon as I figure out whoever wants to be on that panel, DM me either on Discord or on Twitter if you want to be a part of that, and we'll figure out a day or figure out a Friday. It'll probably be at the same time that I do my streams on weekends. It'll be 7:30 on a Friday night. So, but I just haven't figured out which Friday night yet. So, but that's all I want to say about my channel. Now, Jesse, I yield the floor. You see how you do that? You say your piece and then you yield the floor. You say I'm your mentor. This is me being mentoring you.
No, fuck
say
him.
your
I'm
piece.
going now.
You say your piece and then you yield the floor.
Hey, Mir, if you got anything to plug, go ahead, buddy.
I do. So next Monday, this should be our next whatever live stream. Thank you. We're going to be having a mirror extravaganza because
That sounds kind of messy.
you have no idea, buddy. So anyway, next Monday I will officially be older, and so we're going to celebrate.
In other words, it's your birthday.
Yes, sir. We're going to celebrate.
And how many millennia will you be old now?
Ooh. I really don't know. I just know I celebrate the week.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, man, why did you have to say that shit in a live stream? Now I'm gonna sound like I'm trying to one up you.
And very quickly to the chat, DJ Odyssey, good to see you, sir. I hope you've recovered. And I just want to say, DJ, thank you again for having me on this weekend. It was a lot of fun, and I look forward to us collabing again sometime. And I do honestly mean that. Because you, sir, you're a character, and you're the good kind of character.
Yeah, I would agree. DJ Odyssey, actually, everybody comes in. And folks, I want to apologize if I'm not the best when it comes to the chat review. I'm going to be honest. I was kind of getting to the end of it, and I was going to say when I was, when the ambassador made the joke about being my mentor. No, actually, you guys need to understand, he's actually been the one who has been guiding me through. And did you hear that big sigh? Dude, I thought I sighed heavy. You don't like taking compliments very well, do you, buddy?
Stop calling me buddy. You don't like being called dude? Don't call me buddy.
All right.
Well, according to the...
I'll leave it at A. All right, guys. So what the hell are we going to talk about next week? Because I'm telling you what, I got
the same thing we talk about every week, Jesse.
We try to take over the
world. You need to understand. Hold on a second, guys. If y'all don't know what's going on now, you really have been paying attention. My wife's last day of active duty is tomorrow.
Yep.
My son turned 13 the 3rd of July. The 4th of July comes. It is the first time my wife and I get to actually celebrate Independence Day as retired veterans of this republic. So I am going to be spending the next few days getting my wife's retirement stuff in order. She's going to get her retirement stuff in order. And I'm going to buy a shit ton of fireworks, and I'm going to light up South Carolina like it's 1999, baby.
Just use a barbecue later, man.
In the immortal words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, can I get a hell yeah?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Nah, hey guys, all bullshit aside, I know. Hey, anybody who watches this, understand we may give each other shit, but we all walk away as friends. We love each other.
Yeah.
We stand by each other. We're backing
Yeah.
each other up.
That is-
whether they have a channel or not doesn't
Like
matter.
That is absolutely right. See, I tell Jesse to go to hell, but by the end of the stream, he's asking for directions. That's called diplomacy.
Hey,
No,
that
he's
means
right. No,
that means-
he's right. I don't know how to get there. I don't know if I have to take a left at Albuquerque or right to La Jolla.
I don't know. I've lived in both places.
All right.
I actually like living in
we
Albuquerque.
went-
It's a pretty town.
Hey guys, call me crazy, but we went way off topic about games, and I think we've had our longest sustained amount of people. So for
Well,
the
yeah.
9 people watching, Orville Nation, Purple
Yep.
Lady, DJ
Thomas Borg.
Odyssey.
Salvus Borg.
Yep.
We are Salvus
Hey.
Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Thanks for coming here and understand this. We are doing this for fun, for you, and for us. And
But mainly for you.
huh?
But mainly for them.
Oh, absolutely for them. We are doing this to entertain you guys. And you know what? The best way for us to entertain you all, give us some feedback on what you like to listen to, what you like to hear. But
Yeah,
please,
we all have Twitter.
I'm gonna make one thing very, very clear. If you want negative stuff, sorry, that's not what this channel's about.
So is this a bad time to say that that's exactly the direction I wanted to go in next week?
Where?
Look, it can't be sunny all the time. Let's bitch about Star Trek.
Oh no! You didn't let me
Okay.
finish.
I'm
No,
just-
you didn't let me finish.
Here's the thing.
No. Here's the hold on a second. No. Here's the thing, guys. If you know what I was saying was, if you're looking for bitching and complaining, you're not gonna find it in 10 Forward. You'll find it at Quark's Bar. See, that's where I was going when I changed the name of the channel. Because
Here's the other Jesse. Here's the other thing. There is griping and complaining and what have you, and just doing it to be negative. There's also positive, constructive, or positive criticism, which has the connotation of being extremely negative. But one is just getting in front of a camera and griping and moaning like some channels do. And then there's actually doing constructive criticism that can be perceived as griping, complaining, and moaning. There's two completely differences. One has value, the other has none.
This is true.
And yeah, I just
agree.
think there's some
And
shade at
I'm gonna end it with this. If I have a choice in my life, I'd rather die in nobody than live to become the villain. With that, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, everybody.
Live long and prosper, my friends.